Hello and welcome to another episode of Joe to the World. For this episode, I will still be continuing on the topic of the WF-1000xm3s to help you to make the sound of it sound better. So this is something I found out after trying out a lot of different settings on my old WH-1000xm2s. I found a setting that worked for me in the equalizer in the Sony headphones app. So the cool thing about the Sony headphones and earplugs are that it comes with the Sony headphones app, which has a lot of options in it. So let's go to the settings I set up in my WH-1000xm2s, and then we shall translate it to the WF-1000xm3s. So the most important thing is to find a song that has a good amount of highs and a good amount of lows and a good amount of mids and there is a bit of vocals. So once you have all these, you can kind of gauge if it sounds well in different kinds of music. So play the song and listen to each of the predefined settings and try to find one that you like the most. For me, personally, after trying them out, I found out that I prefer the vocal setting. So for you, the choice might be different, but you can still follow the same steps that I'm going to show you in this video to find this, the best setting for you to listen to. I will also be putting the timeline for the final setting that I put for each of these headphones and earphones. And if you want to just skip to it, it'll be on I'll put it up below the video. So manual is where your favorite settings from the modifications you do in the custom settings are saved. So I'm going to change the vocal setting. So once I change the vocal setting, it will automatically be saved in manual. So as you can see, the name changed to manual. And now what I'm trying to do is to bring the treble up so that I can hear the the song the way I want. I like a bit of highs and quite a bit of bass. Many people won't like it, so the people who don't like to have a lot of bass should keep the clear bass at 0. Clear bass kind of makes this sound a bit muddy, but if you adjust the treble and the mids, you can kind of compensate. But to me personally, if you don't like bass, I would say to stick at 0 setting for clear bass. But if you do like a bit of bass, it's good to take it up to 7, 6, 7, or 8. It totally depends on your taste. So now, after I save the settings, I'm gonna keep listening to the music and go through a few of the settings to see if it is better than all the custom settings. If I think it's better, what I would personally do is that I would play another song, some song with a lot of vocals and very little instrumental, and see if it still works. And then I would play an instrumental song and see if that still works. Because I'm too lazy to come and switch these settings for different kinds of music. But if you are the kind of person who likes to change the equalizer based on what they're going to listen to, then you could save two other settings in custom 1 and custom 2 to have more vocals for music like the ones in the opera, or you could have another setting for instrumental. So in the end, you wind up with three settings: one which is in manual, one which is in custom one, and custom two. Manual one could be your all-in-one setting, and custom one and custom two could be your specialized setting for two different kinds of music. But I don't like to keep changing the settings, so I always use manual, the one I change from the vocal setting. So now I would listen to manual with a different song. This is Nobody by Martin Jensen. And I try out the other settings to see if it is any better than the setting I set for myself. So for me, vocal is the one that comes close to what I like, but it's not perfect. And when I'm going through this bright, it's too raspy for me. And off, I personally think if people like a very balanced sound, I would just leave it at off. Anyway, let's switch to the WF-1000xm3s and translate these settings over. Pretty sure the settings that come to the WF-1000xm3s are going to be really close to the one that I set up in WH-1000xm2s right now. So let's go back to, okay, bright doesn't sound too bad. I'm playing You Know You Like It again so that I have a direct comparison between the two. And then, but I have to say in the XM3s, the bright sounds a bit better because it's not as raspy sounding as the ones in the WH-1000xm2s. The difference between the WF-1000xm3s and the WH-1000xm2s is that in the WH-1000xm2s, the highs are crystal clear, and the instrument different, the way you can hear each instrument separately is incredible. It's quite good in the WF-1000xm3s, but in the WH-1000xm2s and 3s, the sound quality is definitely better because you can really identify each instrument that plays in it. So anyway, we're going to kind of do the same setting. It's almost the same. So we are going to go to vocal and edit the vocal settings to make it into the same setting that we did for the WH-1000xm2s, but this time we will be trying to adjust the clear bass a bit because I kind of like the clear bass in WF-1000xm3, even though a lot of people who reviewed the headphone don't really like to use the clear bass because it makes the audio more muddy. But for me personally, I like to have a bit of bass. So what I'm gonna do now is the same thing. I'm gonna bring the bass up, the treble up, and the mid-range of the vocals up, and kind of make a shape like a W. And then that's going to be the setting here as well. The tricky part is going to be to adjust the clear bass to what I like, but and the mids to what I like. So it's a bit different when I'm hearing it in this. So I have to hear for a while before I set it up. Okay, let's see. Actually, I think it's still better up here. The mids are really pretty good. Yeah, I think this level should do. And the clear bass, this is the tricky bit in this headphone. I really like the bass in this earbuds because once I put on the silicone covers and not the foam ones, the bass sounded a lot better. I don't know if I'm hearing things, but I do think that the silicone cover heads for the earbuds really make a huge difference in terms of bass. Maybe because it goes into the ear and kind of meshes in and goes in further. I'm not sure about it, but it does sound better to me. Anyway, now let me see. Should I bring it down? I think from the looks of it, it's gonna be quite similar to the setting of the WH-1000xm2s. Mm, yeah, I think this is very, very good. It's way better than the normal setting for me, at least. But some people might prefer the default, unmodified, unboosted raw audio of WF-1000xm3s. But I do feel that people like different things. There aren't a lot of audiophiles out there who like the audio to be exactly the same as the recording. Some people like bass more, some people like more treble. So it's a great feature to have an equalizer in the Sony app that can let you customize the audio output to something that you like. So now it's similar to the previous setting. Sounds great. Now it's time to see if we can compare this to the default settings and see if it is a lot better. And then I will change the music and see if it works with other songs as well. But I guess from seeing this, you understood the process of finding the right sound for you. And this makes these earbuds a lot more flexible and and it sounds great. The best part is the noise cancelling still amazes me to this day, especially once you find the heads for your earbuds that fit your ear perfectly. There's a lot of passive noise cancellation, and once that is set and your ears are sealed perfectly, you turn on the noise cancelling. It's just sounds great. So anyway, now I'm gonna change the song and see if it works out. Wow, wow, yeah, still sounds great. Yeah, taki taki. Yeah. So I think this is the setting I'm gonna keep. You can go back to the part in the video where I did the final setting. Anyway, if you are in Singapore and you get a pair of these earbuds, you can go to any of these places and the dates to get a custom engraving. I got it done in my pair, so there it is, and it looks cool and it's free. So be sure to get it done if you would like to. The warranty still applies after you get it done. The only thing is that once you get it done and they give you another piece, it won't have the engraving if you're unlucky. Anyway, thanks for watching.